Hi, this is Nikki, and I'm here to share messages that I get from Spirit and from all of our higher selves who are on this journey to love. And so today I'm going to share a bit more about what's been going on with me. And just so if anyone does relate to this and they have things going on in their life and with their twin, then just to say it's all right because everything will be okay. So I have to give a bit of backstory. So basically, when I first met my twin, I was in a corporate job and I was working in the financial markets industry. Anyway, after I met my twin, quite shortly after that, my dad left my mum with a note on the kitchen table and he just went. Completely out of the blue, completely, really, really shocking. So it was really difficult. He basically then was trying to get because it all comes down to money in the end, he tried to get my mum out the house, so we had to pay him off 20 grand. So I had to, I gave up work because I was wanting to do it anyway, and I got the opportunity to take redundancy to get a payoff. So I got a payoff. We paid off my dad 20 grand. My mum can stay in the house. And when my dad left, my twin and I stopped seeing each other. Basically, that's when we went into our separation. And that's when, for me, I just went into that dark night of the soul and all of that. And then I found Reiki, went to Reiki, and then through that started to see the light, let's say. Then went off started to do Reiki myself, learn how to did my Reiki 1 and all of those Reiki things, and then that took me on a whole journey to do shamanic healing, crystal healing, and various other things. And so back about 2 years, when I set up this channel, I was guided to put my house on the market. Because I didn't want to have to pay a mortgage anymore, because I wanted to live a creative life and I wanted to basically not have a mortgage. And so I put the house on the market over 2 years ago now. Since then, I haven't been able to sell it because my landlord upstairs, who basically had previously said that he would extend the lease for £1,000, basically hadn't told me the truth, and he wasn't the freeholder for the building. So I have been in a legal thing for the last 2 and a bit years. Finally, I've got the lease come through last week. But what has happened was, since then, I had agreed with my mortgage company to do a mortgage holiday because I couldn't make the full payment when I got made redundant. Now, because what I found out yesterday was that because it's gone over the 2-year period, they want all of the money in a lump sum, or they will repossess my house. So what I started to do, and I mentioned this yesterday in my video, because I was saying, look, if you have something that's bringing up fears and bringing up stuff for you, it may not be related to your twin, it may be entirely different. But for me, it was that legal stuff, and then this thing from my mortgage company saying, in 3 months' time, if I don't have a buyer for my house, they will start repossession proceedings, which is absolutely ridiculous because I have been notifying them all the way through. So when I've actually really sat down and thought about it rationally, there is no way that will happen. But at the time, it really, as anyone can imagine, threw me off kilter. So what I spent the day doing was, because I was then like, right, I need to, I didn't have any bookings for my Airbnb either. So I was really concentrating on basically moving out of that space of fear into the space of everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. I can't see all the solutions, but I know that everything's going to be okay. And I was guided to, this is the love mantra book that I do, and I was guided to number 37, which is, I call in my twin spirit to help me create the life of my dreams. Now, what happened was I then got a booking for my Airbnb. What I've just recently found out last night was not only when I received the booking, it has my the gentleman has my twin's initial and his surname. So when I received the booking, it was from my twin's name. And not only that, but when I was chatting to him last night, he lived in the same street as my twin. So when he was talking last night and he said, "Oh yeah, I used to live in this road," I was like, "I'm sorry?" And he said, "Yeah, I used to live in this street," which is the same street that my twin used to live in. And I was suddenly like, oh my goodness, because basically I went from a few days ago where I had no Airbnb bookings and thinking, and suddenly having this notice to say I've got to pay off all of my mortgage holiday period within, 3 months. Otherwise, they're going to repossess my house. To suddenly having a guy book in which has my twin's namesake. He turns out lives on the same street as my twin. And also he is now booked in until the end of the year. And all day I have been doing this mantra, which is I call in my twin spirit to help me create the life of my dreams. And sure enough, then effectively my twin spirit turned up in the form of the guy that is now staying with me. So this is why I say, and in any circumstance, right, normally I would have completely freaked out. I think I got a hoax call as well, a prank. I don't think it's a real thing, but from the tax office as well. But it was like an automated voicemail. Which also was just, normally it would have really thrown me, but actually when I really sat down and thought about that, I was like, well, that's not right either. There's something fishy about that. So that's what I mean by when I say, don't let there may be things that are coming up for you that completely freak you out, but actually when you really think about it, so I have always been guided about my home all the way through. You have to put it on the market, just basically it, and always it's divine timing. And actually my guidance has always said you won't have to sell it in the end. So I'm not sure how it all pans out, because of course they don't tell you everything and things change. But at the same time, I can certainly see, without a doubt, that it's my twin spirit helping me, because I couldn't quite believe it when it was my twin's initial and his surname, and the guy lives on the same street as where I met my twin. So it was just crazy. So it is to say, no matter what it looks like, you just have to keep saying, everything's going to be okay. This is happening for a reason. I trust. Yesterday I walked down the canal in Regent's Canal, and of course the boat that was coming under the bridge was Angel, and a lady who stood next to me said, "I wish they'd get rid of the duckweed because there was all green sporran in the water." And I was like, "I'm sorry, what did you say?" And she said, "I wish they would get rid of the duckweed." Now, ducks are really always really significant for me, because ducks, once they find that, it's always for me a sign of the divine divine masculine or your twin, because ducks, once they find their partner, they mate for life. So it was just, and she said it literally as the boat Angel was going under the bridge. And so this is the message for today. It's like, the other thing is, over the last 3 weeks, my twin has been saying, let's meet up. Each time he's then said he can't because of he's working in a different location, so wasn't able to. But that's happened over the last 3 weeks. And so, and this is after like a year. No, it's now more than a year that I haven't seen him for. We are in contact intermittently, but I haven't seen him for over a year. And now, over the last 3 weeks, each time he says, let's meet up, each time he then says he can't. So there is like this, there is, and that's why there is this huge. The song that came through yesterday was "Love as a Battlefield," and the really significant lyric in that song was saying, when it gets too close, when it gets close, and I feel like I'm losing control, you need to, and I surrender to my heart. I need you to hold on. And so it is about saying, you know, don't worry, because if you hold firm where you are, if you hold firm and breathe and trust and have faith, because all of those things, like I just shared with my experience, you know, all of that stuff that's been going on legally with my house and, you know, with my neighbour upstairs, he's basically lives above me, and for 2 years this has been going on simply because he wanted more money, basically. But you see, you have to trust, because I can see now that the reason why I've been kept in this flat for the last 2 years is because if I'd sold it 2 years ago, I wouldn't have done this channel. So, you know, it's happened for a reason. I trust that. But at the time, you know, it's really, really difficult. And so how you cope with it is to really, really go within, say the mantras. Well, for me, that's why I've done these mantra books, because this is basically what I did for the last 2 years. So I'm just doing all the tactics that I've learned and been guided to, and I'm sharing it with all of you guys, because if it helped me, then I'm sure it will help someone else. So those are the couple of things that I just wanted to share. So if you've got stuff that's going on in your life, it could be legal, it could be money, it could be something that is just crazy and just puts you into a spin, then be calm, breathe, trust, and surrender the outcome to the highest good. Equally, if your twin is doing a push and pull, again, just surrender, relax. Don't worry about it. Just take the focus off of them, put it onto you. Just breathe, and keep calling in your twin spirit to help you create the life of your dreams. Because, you know, everything that showed me over the last couple of days is that, you know, the chances of having somebody book into it, just as I was doing, good, I'd done this all day, and saying I call in my twin spirit to help me create, because I was like, you know, thinking, how am I going to cope? What am I going to do? And then literally that evening, his namesake books in, and from the same street as he lived in. So just crazy. But it just shows, you know, your twin spirit will be there to help you. Your twin spirit wants you to be back together. So use that, because it really, really, really is there to help you. Because remember, it's teamwork that's doing this, and they want to be with you just as much as you want to be with them. But they're just finding their way. We're all, you know, to be honest, we're all just finding our way. And we're all navigating these denser energies of fear and anxiety and doubt, which will play out in many, many different ways across your life. And it's about moving into more and more and more of that space of trust, and trusting your guidance, trusting your intuition, trusting what your heart says, trusting your emotions. If it feels good, it's because it's right. If it feels bad, it's because it's not true. So it's pushing us to follow more of our truth. So there, I just thought I'd share, because I know that hopefully it will help somebody else. And the song that came through is Wilson Phillips, If You Hold On for One More Day. And if you look at that song, if you hold on for one more day, I think it's something like, it's going to be all right. And that's the message. Just hold on, because it's going to be okay. All right, take care. Bye.